First of all, your goals are possible no matter how many times you fell down, gave up on your goals. There's always a way to pick yourself back up and find something that's sustainable for you.
Stretch, strengthen, live, and thrive. And that's really what my philosophy is about. If we get you a little bit more mobile, get you a little stronger, you're going to be able to get out there and, like I said, do your golf, do your tennis, whatever it is that you like.
You wouldn't want to build a hotel without having a blueprint. And you don't want to build your body or your life, for that matter, without having a plan.
So for anybody watching out there who maybe is frustrated or stuck, I would say get a buddy, get a partner, find somebody, get one of these trainers, find somebody who will hold your hand, who will take you step by step.
It's the Health in the Real World podcast. It's time to start the show with Chris Janke as your host. Here to give you everything that you need when it comes to fitness strategies. We keep it simple and easy. It's your roadmap to get healthy. You don't need equipment and you don't need a gym. Just the right strategies to get you fit and trim.
Welcome to Health in the Real World. We have a special roundtable discussion today. I want to welcome my three guests, Julia Nadolski. Julia, how's it going today?
How are you?
Good, good. Matt Peale. How you doing, Matt?
I'm good and great, Chris. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much. And Ari Gronich. Ari, how's it going?
Going good. How you doing, Chris?
Good, good. Thanks. Again, thank you all for joining me today. We're just going to kind of go around the roundtable and input our collective experience. I know all three of you have a significant amount of experience in the health and wellness department. Let's do real quick introductions. Ari, let's start with you and we'll go backwards from how I introduced you first. So Ari, quick spiel. Who are you? What do you do?
So my name is Ari Gronich. I'm known as the performance therapist. And for the last 27 years, I have been taking injured athletes and turning them into gold medalists and world champions. Been a functional medicine consultant. I do a lot of trauma work within the somatics. So those are kinds of things. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist. I have a stack of 27 years of training. So I do a lot.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're here. And Matt, how about you? Quick introduction. Who are you? What do you do?
I'm Matt Peale. I'm a corrective exercise specialist, personal trainer, and soon to be nutritional therapist. I'm the author of The Athlete in the Game of Life, and I work with executives and people that are sitting all the time and have chronic pain and help them get a little bit more mobile, more flexible, and enjoy the activities that they love most in life.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. And Julia, how about you? Who you are, what you do?
Julia Nadolski. I'm a NASM certified personal trainer and post-rehab specialist. And so I help people go from serial dieting to sustainable living. With my own background with disordered eating, I help my clients navigate through that journey. And yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Awesome. We definitely have a wide variety. That's what happens when you combine array and variety together, you get foray. So we have a wide array of people here today. And my name is Chris Janke. I've been a personal trainer since 2004. A lot of functional, body weight exercises, kind of my forte. I really like doing that just because people can do it in their living room and it's fun. So, all right, here we go. I want to start with you, Matt. So somebody meets you at a party. What are the questions that you ask them to determine what advice you will give, right? I don't want you to give generic advice, but I want you to let us know, how do you pick apart, what should I tell this person? What are your questions? What's your thought process?
Well, first, a pretty basic question on any new conversation would be, what do you do for a living? What do you do for work? And then from there, it's a pretty simple way to determine, how much are they trapped like what we're doing right now? Is this the majority of their day? Is it not? And then from there, if I know that they are basically sitting for 6 to 8 hours a day, I can tell them exactly how their body is feeling and how they feel and why it's going in that direction.
Any type of fitness, you're taking a body that is not ready to work out because it's been sitting. You need more than just a little warm up. You need to actually change and correct some of the imbalances that have been created throughout the day. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. And I think Julia and Ari would say the same way. You know, we can't just throw someone underneath even 135-pound, whether it's squat or bench press, and just say, all right, man, go at it, and then let's start doing a HIIT training.
Let's do it.
Doesn't
First
work that way.
exercise, squats.
Yeah, here we go.
Put this big thing on your back and drop down.
Right.
Julia, what about you? You meet somebody and they find out you're a trainer and they want your advice, but what questions do you ask to determine what advice to give them?
So I would definitely ask the same thing as Matt did, and I would ask them if they had any previous injuries or traumas or anything else I should really look out for. But I could definitely relate to the fact that people aren't really prepared to work out first thing, and a lot of people don't know the importance of actually warming up and taking care of their recovery. Even just this morning, I had a new client who was just like, we were just doing our introduction. She's like, okay, do I grab my dumbbells now? I'm like, whoa, wait, hold up. We have a warm up first. And so, so a lot of people don't know the mechanics behind that too. So it's introducing them to those little fundamental things too is very important. Recognizing their background.
It's funny, you know, in like the 80s and 90s, there was like this impression of trainers of like the boot camp drill sergeant. And I almost think it's the opposite now. It's like so many people are so over anxious to work out. And then it's almost a trainer's job to like, whoa, we got to pull back and make sure we cover this foundation. So Ari, what about you? You mentioned Olympians, and you're working with some high level athletes and people who have a lot at stake. What kinds of things are you talking to them about to determine how you proceed?
Yeah, so I'm not so good at a party doing this, but I have about a 3-hour assessment that I do. So I'm asking questions. Like, I want to elicit where they've been, where they want to go, what's in the way of where they're going, what's been stopping them, you know, up till now. I want to get into the nitty-gritty of their emotions, of why, you know, their whys. I want to know as much information as possible, because I'm going to develop a program and I'm going to create that program so that they succeed. So it's not about like, come do 10 sessions, we'll see where you're at. It's what they've said about building a foundation. You have to build a foundation, but you have to show the possibility of progress and how that looks in a plan, at least from what I've seen. The people who kind of willy-nilly their sessions, like just sell by the package versus do really deep dives in the assessment, tend to have injuries more often. They tend to not be building the foundation as much. They don't have as much buy-in from the client, because the client is going, I don't know where and when I'm going to see these changes happen. So it's a very detailed thing.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a good point. You know, your clients are not really paying for your time. They want a certain result, right? Yeah. I want to plant this seed for all three of you. Toward the end, I'm going to ask you if there's any questions that you want to ask any other member of the panel. So as we're answering, I mean, obviously chime in too. I want this to be very conversational, but if there's like a specific question that you have, we'll do that as well. I want to go around and we can go whatever order you guys want, but where do you struggle with your own personal health? I think this has been one of my favorite questions, because I don't know if you guys encounter this, but for me as a personal trainer, there's almost a perception like it comes easily to me. And I should just carry my picture from college around with me, where I was 30 pounds overweight and I had like a triple chin. And, you know, I've had people who know me now, they didn't even recognize me. They're like, why do you have this picture of this random guy? I'm like, dude, that's me. And they start laughing at me and I'm like, jeez. So where do you guys each individually struggle with your own health and fitness? I could tell you with me, it's probably consistency. You know, the workout times are always different. So I'm sort of like band-aiding a workout plan together sometimes. So what about you? Where do you guys struggle with either your workouts, your nutrition, your mindset, your sleep habits, whatever it is?
So I guess I'll start. So I struggle most with managing my intensity, because I definitely let my ego get in the way. and I want to go hard all the time. And like I mentioned before, recovery is very important, even more important than actually, the workout, I would say. So that's definitely something I have to manage and keep in my mind as I'm entering a workout and finishing it up.
For me, it's doing a cardiovascular session. I'll lift and go out of my way to lift. And if it's a rest day where I know, okay, well, I probably need to go and try and get 25, 30 minutes of something in, I'll just skate right on over it. Because I hate it. I despise it. It's boring. I don't like it. And I tell my clients that. I'm very honest with them. I say, I hate it, but I still got to figure out a way to get it done. So for me, that's where I lack.
I guess it's a little deeper for me. I was born 7 years old. I started getting hot flashes and migraines. By the age of 12, I was being injected into puberty. 14, I had breast reduction, and I was gaining weight on average about 25 to 30 pounds a year. And so I was about 340 some odd pounds, and being told by doctors that I would never lose weight until I died from it. And that my body just didn't know how to detox properly. It didn't know how to process nutrient properly. It was, hormonally deficient because of the brain tumor. And so I've had quite a bit of of health issues. So these days I've lost 140 some odd pounds during COVID, gained back about 20 or 30, I don't know. And so I've got to be really on top of my hormone balance. I've got to be on top of my nutrient content, making sure I'm getting in the proper supplements for detoxification, for my genetics. Like I said, it's a very detailed thing. That's why I like to get into other people's details.
Right. Yeah. It's so Ari, for you, like the stakes are really high, right? That you had doctors telling you that, you're not going to make it. And I found that, I guess with me personally, I could say this probably with my clients too, that if the stakes are really high and they want to either lose weight or get fit, whatever it is, for like a very deep reason, like maybe they are seeing their grandchildren just slip away because they don't have the energy to play with them or things like that, I think or something like what you basically had no choice, something like that versus, the chiseled, oh, look, I want to look like this fitness competitor on the magazine, that's like the January gym season, right? It's like, oh, I'm going to lose 50 pounds this month. And it's harder to sustain. Not that you can't sustain it, but I think the majority of people just have a hard time sustaining those goals unless they're really like practical, real life scenarios. How do you guys set goals? How do you know where you're going and when you're going to reach it? Like, what are your goals, short-term, mid-term, long-term, however you structure them?
I'll go. For me, I've always found that the goals need to be associated with an activity. So it's not enough to say to somebody you're going to get fit and feel good in your body, right? So I've always had them say, what would you like to do? What's like your goal for the next 6 months? What would you like to be able to do in 6 months? And then that gives them the focus, the thing that they're reaching for. And I've always found that more than anything is what people are desiring. Is they want to be able to play tennis. They want to be able to go walk in a grocery store without, having to hunch over their cart. So whatever the goal is what I find drives whatever they want to do, is what drives the goal.
Yeah, you're right, Ari. That's 100%. But Chris, that question about like for us, like what drives us, or what do we do to drive our clients? I guess
you can go either way with it. I think originally I was thinking for us as individuals, but if you want to talk more about how you motivate clients or how you frame your goal setting for them, either way, whatever.
I thought actually meant for us. So I'll say for me, I gotta find an event, because I'm like anybody else out there. We work out, and that's programmed into our brains now and our DNA in a sense. So we do it, but why are we doing it? So I got to find like an event. So I just signed up for an obstacle course race in December, and I did one like literally the week before COVID, and that was the first one that I ever failed. So for me, it's finding an event to do, and then I get a little bit more laser sharp. And then, to kind of piggyback on what you were saying, Ari, then I think that helps me to drill down a little bit more with clients, because especially I have some long term that have been with me for, a couple of years. You just become an amoeba to an extent. You just kind of move around, and they might not have anything too specific. It's just habit, and luckily they have financial resources to pay us. But they're just kind of moving around and going through life too. So it helps if I have something, then I can get more focused too on what they want to do.
Matt, when you said you failed, you said you ran a race and you failed. Did you didn't finish, or what happened?
Well, since I do the elite obstacle course to the elite division, you have to complete every obstacle. It's not like an open where you go to it and
right.
If I don't want to do it. So failed means like I didn't complete one of the obstacles. So therefore my time wouldn't have counted. So
Gotcha. Is that Spartan race?
No, not specifically Spartan.
Okay.
There's another organization down here in the South Louisiana, but similar type of deal.
Nice. Awesome. What about you, Julia? How do you set and frame your goals?
So I resonated with Ari, what he said, and the way I frame my goals, and I help my clients frame their goals, is through setting performance goals. Like if they want to move a certain weight, or let's say run a certain time, I help them associate that over aesthetics, because a lot of us have disordered eating patterns and body dysmorphia, and at least to a little extent. And so focusing on that task, on getting stronger, has been very helpful in actually reaching those goals, and aesthetics typically follow anyway. So
yeah, I think that's a good, getting people more into what's going to help them in the day-to-day lives versus like, oh, I want to sculpt my bicep. You're right. It tends to follow when you're healthy, fit, you can move well, you're going to look the way you want to look generally. Yeah. Do you guys have any questions for each other? Specific questions that you want more in-depth answers on?
Ari, I was just wondering, how did you get into, or what made you want to go towards that, training the Olympian type of athlete, as opposed to, there's also other stuff, but what turns you on about that?
So I've had a crazy career. So I was 18 years old, and it was my 6th month in school. And I ended up at a health event, like a health festival conference statewide. And we had a booth there at my school. And I ended up working on Richard Simmons that day. Victoria Jackson, who was an ESPN fitness model, or fitness like aerobics instructor, kind of like a Jane Fonda of the 70s, but she was the 80s, 90s version of that. And then I worked on a couple of pro sports players. And that night I ended up at the game, and my dumbass decided to run out on the court when somebody got injured. And so I basically, out of instinct, just like went to an ankle and started fixing. And a year later was hanging out with the team still, and I had been in the surgical rooms of knee surgeries, like they call it the theater when you have a teaching hospital and it's upstairs. So it's surgical theater. I got to watch surgeries, and I got to hang out with the athletic trainers and the personal trainers and the coaches. And I just kind of developed that. But I was also a gymnast, martial artist, long distance cycler, baseball player. I did a lot of athletics growing up. So I was pretty injured and pretty well needed to fix myself, and was like, okay, so where's the best route to that, is learning how to do it for others.
That's awesome. I want to wrap this up, give each of you a chance to just say a little blurb, say like 20 to 30 seconds as far as like big picture, what you believe, like sort of like guiding principles, so to speak, and then also leave us with your website and any social media, how to contact you. Julia, let's start with you. Just a quick blurb as far as big picture, like what you believe, like guiding principles, maybe something like that, just kind of to wrap it up. And then how do we contact you?
First of all, your goals are possible no matter how many times you fell down, gave up on your goals. There's always a way to pick yourself back up and find something that's sustainable for you. Everyone is so different. There's no one size fits all approach. So if you haven't found something that works for you, keep trying, because I promise you there is something. And you can find me on LinkedIn under Julia Nadolski. All of my contact information is under there.
My mantra is just like it says on the cover of my book: stretch, strengthen, live, and thrive. And that's really what my philosophy is about. If we get you a little bit more mobile, get you a little stronger, you're gonna be able to get out there and, like I said, do your golf, do your tennis, whatever it is that you like, at an even higher level and enjoy it more. And you can find me and all my programs and all my social media at mattpeale.com.
You wouldn't want to build a hotel without having a blueprint. And you don't want to build your body or your life, for that matter, without having a plan, without having a direction, without having a thing that you're wanting to do to go somewhere and get something, right? So the advice that I have for everybody is, if you're going to a trainer, go to a trainer that's going to develop a plan for you. If you're not able to develop your own plan, so make sure you know what it is that you want to accomplish, where you want to go with your body, with your life, with your business, anything else, and create the plan, and then build the foundation first, because a beautiful kitchen on a sinkhole is not going to last very long. Just like a beautiful set of abs on a body that's about to get injured isn't going to last very long.
Yep, 100%. And I would say for me, I believe health is a great opportunity. Health, fitness, that the whole deal is a great opportunity to reach out, meet people, collaborate. I've been pleasantly surprised at how amazing doing these podcasts has been. I started last August, September, and just reaching out to people like the three of you and, talking shop, collaborating. It's been really fun, really rewarding. So for anybody watching out there who maybe is frustrated or stuck, I would say get a buddy, get a partner, find somebody, get one of these trainers, find somebody who will hold your hand, who will take you step by step, and, encouragement. I think we've definitely seen during COVID that we need each other, and, reach out, form that community, or, join one that's already going. And then my website, chrisjanke.com, or now healthintherealworld.com. So I want to thank the three of you, Julia, Matt, Ari. Thank you guys so much for joining me today on Health in the Real World. I got to get you guys out of here as promised at 12:30 at the latest. So thank you again, guys, for joining me, and have a great day, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Health in the Real World show. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment down below. Visit mycorebalance.com to learn more.